As we continue our journey through Virgo season, we're now coming in through gate number 40. Gate number 40 is going to be found in the heart center within your human design chart, and it is the gate of deliverance. Now, it's also the start of a very exciting journey. Gate number 40, gate 64, gate 47, and gate 6, the four gate activations that you see here as part of Virgo season, they're all part of what is known as the Ring of Alchemy. And I want to share an extract from the teachings of the Gene Keys. And the Gene Keys opens up human design to an even greater level of depth. This is where we really start to do the shadow work by recognizing our lower vibrating energies, and we learn to transmute them by bringing in the gift aspects. So doing the work within ourselves in order to raise from a lower vibrating energy into a higher. Whenever there are certain rings, certain combinations of gene keys or gates within a chart, this is a cellular DNA alchemy that is transpiring, meaning you're changing alchemically within you. This work is all about changing your DNA structure and releasing more energy within the nuclei of every one of those cells within your DNA, within your body. So the Ring of Alchemy in the teachings of the Gene Keys, it says that this is a very powerful genetic grouping known as the Ring of Alchemy, and it's playing a very pivotal role in transforming the human species. Each of these four gene keys will transmute your DNA so that there is no longer any interference in your physical body. This is a very powerful genetic grouping. The sixth gift is breaking down the barriers in human relationships. The 40th gift is forging this new openness into our communities. The 47th gift is allowing us to transform our old ways. And the 64th gift is opening us up to a fresh set of possibilities for living in a new way. This is the job of this codon ring, to activate a process of karmic release that allows your highest subtle bodies to manifest directly through your physical body. By transforming our old ways and opening us up to a fresh set of possibilities, these deep alchemical processes will gradually bring peace to Earth. So I want to go back to show you the significance of Virgo season. And this is the four gates that we just talked about through that ring of alchemy, and how we're going to see they're all related in terms of their shadow. So today we're talking about the shadow of exhaustion. Next week is confusion, then oppression, and then conflict. We're going to then be reaching for the gifts of resolve, divine will, imagination, which is illumination, transmutation, which is transfiguration, and diplomacy and peace. So there's a lot of things that are going on in Virgo season, and it is such a significant teaching of the power that we have within us to do our own inner alchemy work. So if you're joining us because you have a birth date within Virgo season and this is one of your sun signs, it's a great opportunity to learn about yourself, but also to journey through the rest of them. And if you are joining us as we're traveling through the mandala wheel and going through each of the seasons, then this is the inner alchemy work that is being opened up in the collective energy at this time and at this place. So you can use the wheel to follow along throughout the course of the year by looking at the dates to see which gate that we are currently in and to follow along with its teachings. So we're going to jump right into gate number 40 today, the gate of deliverance. And when we look at the teachings through the book of I Ching, which is the book of changes, this is all about freedom for yourself and from any hardship. And when you think of the caterpillar is digesting its environment and taking things into its physical body in order to then prepare itself to go deeply inwards for an alchemical change that literally transforms itself and it emerges as a butterfly. Well, that is the gift of freedom. That is the process of deliverance. We're learning about how our physical body is made of energy, and what we think is energy, what we digest is energy, what we absorb from our surroundings is energy. So in order to free ourselves and free ourselves from any hardship, it's learning to use your willpower, so your free will, to distinguish the difference between struggling and liberation in order to attain what you want. And this is what you want at a higher level. It's not getting the shadow essence in there. That creates more of the struggle. It's really aligning your body, your mind, and your spirit to know exactly what you want and to use your free will and your willpower, your motivation, in order to bring that towards you, to deliver on your promise, to free yourself, to do what you say you're going to do, and to lead by example. When we look at the human design chart, we're going to find this within the heart center. And 35% of you will have it colored in. It'll be defined. 65% of you will be undefined. And that does have very specific properties to it as well. So I am going to provide a link in the course below if you're interested in exploring the properties of the heart center in more depth to really understand what it means for you. If you are defined, it's color, you have very consistent energy in the form of willpower, and this is tribal energy. This is about allocating resources, it is about communities, it's about operating on the material world. And if you have it undefined or it's white in your chart, this is often the breeding ground for low self-esteem, low self-worth, not knowing value, and really kind of compromising yourself by making promises that you just do not have the willpower to commit to. And a lot of times that really feeds a vicious cycle of making a promise, and then when something is missed or you're canceling or the energy's not there, that then becomes a story of guilt or forcing yourself to do what your energy is just not there to do. So it really does branch out into a big body of teaching. And I do want to provide an opportunity, if you want to explore that in more depth, that you can enroll in that, and the link is down below in this course for those that really do want to explore it in more depth. Now, the gate of deliverance, if you have this circled within your human design chart, or if you're coming in right now as part of the following of the mandala wheel, the collective has this open, so we're all experiencing it. This is the energy to provide. So saying what you're going to do and delivering on what it is that you're promising, delivering the goods. And it also has a biological connection to the stomach area. So a really good way to recognize this is when you say you're going to do something, but you really don't want to do it, you might feel a very upset stomach. You might have all sorts of digestion issues. Or if you say you're going to do something and then you forgot or you weren't able to meet the demands, same thing. You might be just like knotted in your stomach, sick to your stomach. So it's really recognizing how our physical body communicates to us. And it's not about grabbing a band-aid, grabbing the Tums and trying to suppress that. It's really learning to communicate with your body and recognizing that if you have gate 40 circled in your human design chart and you have a lot of digestion issues, stomach issues, this is your higher self really asking you to explore what are you trying to provide that is out of alignment with your truth, or what are you not providing for yourself that is in alignment to your higher truth. So it's all about learning to communicate with our physical body. Gate number 40 does have a lot of willpower. So it naturally is designed to deliver on what it has promised. And because it does that, it also may tend to refuse help from anybody else. So sometimes it can feel really put off if somebody wants to jump in and help and they're very capable of doing it by themselves. They want to do it by themselves. They want to prove that they're able to do it. So this is a form of being super independent. In children, when this comes up, and my granddaughter has this gate in her design, it is very easy to see that independence coming forward and just that desire to want to learn and want to grow by being hands-on and being able to try things and to try it until you have exhausted your energy and require the help from somebody else. So when you're approaching this from a very healthy sense of learning and growing, and you're not stressing about it, you're not feeling angry or frustrated about it, but you really just want to put your energy into learning and absorbing and trying for yourself, it is absolutely correct for you to maintain that independence. If you find yourself questioning in your mind, or you have a story in your mind that says, well, I have to do it, nobody else can do it, if I don't do it, then it's just not going to get done, right? So if it's coming from your mind talk and not from your body, you're really going to want to sit in that to look at the conditioning aspects. And how when we refuse help from other people, we actually start to really alienate ourselves from the community, from the tribe, from coming together, which is a big part of that heart center. That is tribal energy. So there's a very fine line between balancing doing things by yourself, delivering on what it is that you're promising to do, and allowing other people to play a role in that so that it becomes a community effort, a family effort, a team effort, and really kind of asking your heart, your higher self, what are you missing in your life right now? Are you missing more interactions with others? Are you missing more time being able to do things on your own? And just feel that through the body to see what is correct for you. In gate number 40, there's also the energy here that does crave time alone. And it's craving that time alone because our willpower, our energy, our motivation, it does need time to replenish. And not just to replenish, it also needs that time to step back and to recognize one's accomplishments. to really see what has been delivered, what has been accomplished, and to celebrate that. That is a big part of tribal energy, community, family, teamwork, is to know when it's time to dig in and go deep and really commit your energy. And when it's time to step back, pat each other on the back, celebrate those successes, and increase that motivation by reflecting on what went right, reflecting on any problem solving, and feeling that energy coming back into you, replenishing you, making sure you're still in alignment to what is of the highest good. And then when you're feeling ready, moving back into the game again, moving back into committing your willpower for whatever else is coming up for you. The heart center in human design, and especially through this gate 40, it's really interesting because it also teaches us about the power of forgiveness. And this is forgiving yourself and forgiving others for wrongs that have been committed. So it's really learning about letting the past go. And when we think about that in terms of ourselves, if our mind is always dwelling on how something didn't work or how somebody else reacted or if something wasn't appreciated, then we end up denying ourselves opportunities to engage in that again. And maybe you are really creative and maybe you have some really good ideas and you want to provide those to the world, but maybe for whatever reason it has gone unappreciated by people in the past. Learning to forgive that doesn't excuse their behavior. What it does is it sets you free to try again, to recognize that you have grown from your experience. Your stomach is going to feel the right people who are going to appreciate what it is you have to deliver. And you're going to be able to feed that creativity within you that wants to provide a service and wants to be recognized for what it is here to deliver. So a lot of times we have dreams, we have goals, we have ambitions as children, and they are laughed at, they are ridiculed, we're told that'll never amount to something, we're told that that is foolish. So that starts the program in the mind that then shuts down that energy resource. So we want to really look at those conditionings. We want to really open up our heart to allow for creativity, to allow for inspiration, to allow for more collaboration with others, to really see what energizes you. Where does your willpower, your motivation, your passion, where is that leading you towards? And what do you have to forgive, let go within yourself, within others, in order to allow that to happen? And this is going to challenge the ego, meaning it's going to challenge the parts of our identity that want to prove something, want to prove that I was right and they were wrong, or doesn't want to look at certain things in the past. Maybe it wants to stay as the victim. Maybe it's holding on to that story. Maybe it's created a false protection because the emotions that are underneath that story feel to be too overwhelming at this time. So it's really important to really pay attention to your stomach, that physical body that is always talking to you, because we're going to have the programs within our mind that are conditioned stories. And we're learning to pay more attention to the body, to honor the body, to treat the body as sacred, and to be mindful of the stories that are trying to override that wisdom. So gate 40, deliverance, aligning your willpower to the highest good, is really going to ask you, do you have the will to surrender? When you're reaching for the chocolate bar and all of a sudden you hear, is that really best for you? You feel your stomach kind of like, ugh. Do you have the will to surrender and not indulge in that? If somebody wants you to do something and they're putting a lot of emotional pressure on you, they're putting a lot of stress on you, and your stomach is tight and you don't want to do it, do you have the willpower to say no? How does that feel? And really kind of recognizing for yourself how your stomach is kind of moving in these different scenarios. Recognizing the fear that you carry in your physical body, created by a self-expectation, created by a responsibility to deliver the good, and recognizing, are you also providing for yourself? Our number one responsibility is to provide first and foremost to ourselves. So you're giving from the best of you. And that is not something that we are taught in our conditioned world. You might have been taught that that is very selfish. So you're given permission in this course to be selfish, to fill up on all the good things for you, and really kind of then step back and witness how that then really does benefit the children, the tribe, the family, the co-workers, everybody else that is part of your circle. When you are giving the best of you, how does everybody else benefit? When you're giving from a frustrated, a depletive, an aggravated sense of you, how does that affect everybody else in there? So we're really going to learn about having the will to surrender to our higher self, our divine parent, so that we can grow emotionally and spiritually and do the alchemy work within inside of ourselves in order to transcend and allow ourselves to ascend to a higher plane. This is also part of what is known as the channel of community. So again, you're going to want to check your human design chart to see if you have this particular channel. And again, if you're joining us as part of the inner alchemy of the turning of the mandala wheel and coming in through Virgo season, we're all getting opportunities to experience this energy. So this is a heart solar plex connection, meaning you have willpower, tribal energy, community, resources, material, meeting, emotional energy, spirit, and desire. It is the pressure to deliver the goods based on the values one holds for the tribe. And in this case, it's coming from gate 37, which is family. So noticing the pressure you put on yourself, especially emotional pressure, to deliver certain things to your family. So family is either immediate family, soul family, work family, however you define that. And being very aware that it naturally carries a fear of tradition. So this is where that forgiveness comes in. Just because the family ancestral pattern behaved in this way, is it correct for you? Just because they had responsibilities in a certain area, they delivered the goods, they expended their energy in a certain area, took on certain responsibilities, certain roles, maintained certain traditions. Is that right for you? And leaning back into your stomach again, your digestion again, to really know the truth of that. So this is where we really recognize that some practices that were done in the past, they don't make sense in today's world. We have different needs of the family. We have a different family dynamic. We have different roles. Are the responsibilities being fairly allocated? Are you trying to do what your mother or father did and their parents did? Are you expecting yourself to be who you're truly not? And really recognizing that this also comes with a tribal wave of need and touch. So there's a natural emotional pressure in there to come together. And noticing for yourself, do you have a community of support around you? Do you have people you can go to give you some assistance, to help support you in delivering the goods, in helping to motivate you, in having realistic expectations of each other's roles within there, of giving yourself the pat on the back as well? Are you getting your own needs met? So a lot of times we come with the energy of being really good at providing the goods for everybody else, taking care of everybody else. But are you leaving yourself out of that equation? And noticing again, how does the stomach communicate that to you? It holds your truth in there. So this is deeply rooted in the principles of trust, fairness, and honesty. And it's not about just trusting other people around you to do what they say they're going to do. Do you trust yourself? Are you honoring your commitments? Or are you the first thing that goes in order to meet the expectations of everybody else? Are you maintaining a fairness, a balance? Are you being honest with yourself? Is that truly your responsibility? Is that truly what you want to do? Are you doing it from a place of love and for the highest good? So being honest with yourself, knowing that your word is your bond. So the energy that's coming through this channel has a lot of willpower behind it. It wants to deliver on what it says it's going to do. And in return, it wants the loyalty and the trust and the recognition from others. When that bond is broken, it physically hurts. It can physically make somebody feel sick to their stomach. So it's really addressing those expectations. And are the words coming from a program of the mind that says you have to do something? Or is it coming from a knowing within the body? That is where the deep intuition is, the higher self-wisdom. And that is what we really want to focus on. You're going to find that energetically, it is happiest when everybody is contributing. It's not just about one individual serving the tribe. It's about the tribe, the family, the workplace, all doing the best that they can do in order to move in a certain direction or to keep the harmony and the flow. So you're going to feel that sense of satisfaction when it is a team effort, when all people are on board, and when it feels to have that sense of fairness that everybody is contributing to that. So it's really important to surround yourself with like-minded individuals that are committed to that vision. If you're in a role of trying to be a slave to everybody else, and this can be completely unconscious, but if you're in a position where you feel resentful because you're doing all these things for everybody else and nobody is appreciating it, and you're exhausted and you're tired and you're feeling unsatisfied, there's a big disconnect in there. And there's an honest conversation that you're needing to have with yourself. Again, checking in to see if you're putting yourself in as part of that equation. Are you meeting your needs first before expending the rest of your energy? So we're learning here that family is the foundation of community ethics and all community accomplishments. So when we start in the home and the mother learns to take really good care of herself, she teaches the children to take care of themselves. Now you have a family that is holding on to their own self-responsibility. They're doing what they're able to do to the best of their abilities. They have the satisfaction of the independence, the learning skills, the coping skills, being able to problem solve, being able to come together and rely on one another for help and support, open communication and dialogue. Now you have a healthy family that builds a healthy community, and it moves out from there. But it really does start with us as individuals. Having your own healthy conversations, knowing your own boundaries, being able to deliver on what it is that you are promising, knowing that what you are promising is correct for you. It's coming from body wisdom so that you are assured you have the energy to support it. You're not doing something out of the program of the mind and then it falls short because it was never coming from the truth of your energy resources. So there's a lot to kind of lean on within these teachings. We're going to go even deeper by looking at the Gene Keys, and we are following the Book of the Gene Keys by Richard Rudd. We're going to use some extracts through the teachings to talk about the shadow of exhaustion, the dilemma of excess, so taking in too much, the gift of resolve, so really knowing your body's wisdom, and reaching for the Sudi, which is the highest light aspect. It's the transformation at a cellular level that attunes us to divine will. So this is all about teaching us the correct and incorrect use of the power of human will. And a lot of times, human will, your free will, your energy, is overridden by the mind's tendency to want to be the driver instead of letting the soul self lead the way and being an observer to what is happening.